Hello there and welcome to my overview of issues 27 and 28 of Combat Patrol. These two issues, we get 4 out of the 6 Aeldari Jetbikes or Windriders, I believe they're now known. The rest of the delivery came with the other 2, but I'll be doing those as I do 2 issues per video. So issue 27 came with 2 of the Jetbikes that we need along with their bases as well. And we also get more data sheets and, I say terrain, little lumps of card that we can kind of represent terrain. I definitely recommend getting some terrain. They're currently doing a deal for £75 for a load of terrain. And of course, issue 28 also came with 2 Windriders. So opening issue 27, the very first thing we're confronted with is the how to build guide for our brand new Jetbikes. Now, obviously, if you've got these by yourself, I completely suggest building all 6 together at once rather than 4 and then 2 for the next video like I'm going to be doing, but that's purely just for the videos. So, as usual, snipped them all off their sprues. Gave all the pieces a nice, good clean. As you can see, I've definitely gone away from using the tools that came with the actual first delivery, as I much prefer my old stuff. There's also a glaring error as well. It says number 45 for a piece, but there is no 45 on the sprues, and what you're actually looking for is piece number 32. Also, a little bit of a painting tip, or a future painting tip. Don't glue the rider to his jet bike just yet, because it'll make things a lot easier for when you start to paint him. And there we are. That's our Eldari jet bikes, or Windriders. Are they called Windriders? Yeah, Windriders put together. I'm always going to just call them jet bikes. I'm never going to call them Windriders. I'm going to constantly forget that. But there's the first 4 stuck together. Make sure you stick all 6 together. Don't do what I'm doing, but again, I'm literally doing this just for the videos. Lovely models. Can't wait to get them painted. Speaking of which, the next page is all about painting, and it's about relayering. We're not actually painting these guys yet. So we're just going to relayer what we've actually painted so far. Now, this is going to be a very, very long process for those of you that are painting your Tyranids, because they're the ones that are basically mostly featured in the painting at the moment, and the relayering, because you're relaying the Wraithbone on their skin. Make sure you give a good read if you're new to this to how to actually use these techniques, as it is very important to get relayering down, because you'll be doing a lot of it over the years when you actually paint this stuff. So I've got the models ready that I'm going to paint. I've got my paints ready and my palette and my water, and I got cracking. I've only got the Hive Tyrant. It's not Hive Tyrant, is it? The Tyranid Prime to paint, as my Nids are a completely different army. If you're new to these videos, they're already painted. They do need to be based though. And then after that, I continued with the Space Marines and the Eldar. There wasn't really much to do with anything. It's just your Terminators for the Space Marines, and with the Eldari, it's just any white helmets you've got. That's a lie, actually. Sorry, tell a lie. You've also got the cloak on your Farseer as well. With that, that's all our painting up to date. However, if, unlike me, you are painting your Tyranids, it is going to take the longest amount of time. So my suggestion for that is just basically do like a few at a time per day, and if you do start to get bored with it, sort of mix it up with some of the other models so you're not getting like frustrated just painting endless Tyranids. Stick with it though, because the end result is definitely worth it. So after our painting, we've got some more lore to read. This time it's about the aspect warriors of the Eldari, and I've got to say there's some fantastic models in this range, and I think we are actually getting some Howling Banshees, which are some of my favourites, so I can't wait to get my hands on those. All in all, though, it is a very nice look at some of the other models and items you can purchase in the future. And after that, we're on to the wargaming section. Now, we're finally getting to the actual main rules. They do a little bit of an explanation about the actual combat patrol and the stuff you've got in your combat patrols and how to use them in armies. Also, there's a nice little QR code for any FAQ, so if you actually want to use this QR code, feel free. I'm going to give it a little bit of a close-up shot so you can scan it if you wish. Basically, we're now getting to the point where we're actually going to be owning a full rulebook, so take your time and read through this. Before that, we're going to look at some of the combat patrols we've already got, both the Space Marines and the Tyranids. It's got some lovely glamour shots of what your models will hopefully look like by the time we've ended this entire experience. There's no overarching mission this time, however, so if you want to play a game, just get your models out and set your stuff up. Unfortunately, I can't do one this time around, or this video, but hopefully I can on the next one. So, on to issue 28. Now, I was a little bit taken aback this time upon opening it. We go straight into the lore. There's no paint guides, there's no builds or anything like that. There's not even any like a tips page. But we are looking at the Eldari and how they treat their dead and place them in war machines. And of course, they've got that lovely, lovely Wraith model, which I can't wait to get my hands on one day. From there, we're looking at the Drukhari, which are basically like a darker version of the Eldari. People used to call them the Dark Eldar, and that's probably what I'm going to refer to. Lovely models in there, and a quick explanation of what they are. And we're continuing with the lore, and this time we're looking at a war zone. This one between the Space Marines and the Tyranids, or the Imperium, I should say, and the Tyranids. We've got some lovely battle maps, some sort of galaxy maps, and things like that to basically tuck in if you really like the lore. They are fun little reads, and they are very, very sort of aesthetically pleasing, I would say, to look at. And then we've got a very brief glimpse of some of the major players from the Imperium side. Obviously, we don't got any from the Tyranids because they're just giant bugs. Then we have another look at the Horus Heresy and how the Imperium got betrayed by Horus. And it's such a fantastic era that they've even got a dedicated game to it. After that, we're back to fiction, looking at the Silver Templars. Again, this is a fun little read, and I definitely suggest that you give it a go. Useful toilet reads. After that, we get our Windriders naming convention, and of course our little checklist to make sure we're keeping up to date, and this is followed by the data sheet. Then we're back onto the rules. As I said earlier, unfortunately I don't have the time or really the space at the moment to actually play a game, but we are taking a deeper delve into it, looking at things like unit coherency at a deeper level, dice, terrain, measuring distances, just to sort of really try and hammer at home how these things work in the game. They are quite vital. They can actually save units, or they can really affect the outcome of games. And of course, it's also very important to learn how a die 3 works and how rerolls and things like that can affect as well. And then finally, we've got a larger version of the Battle Round Guide. On the final page, once again, we've got our beautiful shot of some amazing miniatures, some of which we will be getting, some of which we won't. And then we've got our sneak peek at the next 2 issues. Obviously, we know that the Windriders are coming, but we've also got some paints after that, so it looks like we're going to be doing a lot more painting next week again. Overall, it's been a pretty good 2 issues. We've got some data cards, which always come in handy. They're really, really useful, so you're not constantly flicking through books. We've got our models up to speed, and of course, we've got our Windriders. Hopefully, though, you'll have stuck all 6 of yours together rather than just the 4 like I have. They also will keep doing that when you've got blue tech on them, as just that's their nature, unfortunately, until they're completely painted and you glue them to their bases. So if you want to see the next 2 issues, give the channel a subscribe, the video a like, and I'll see you on the next one. Thank you so much for watching. I really do hope you like these videos, and well, I can't wait to get stuck into the next 2 issues. Thank you again, and goodbye for now.